Hi there. My name is John, and I'm a Wonder Woman collector. I recently moved my collection into a new part of my house, and I've created this YouTube space to share it with you. This is part one. I've been a Wonder Woman fan all my life. My first memory of her was on the Hanna-Barbera Super Friends cartoon in one of its dozen incarnations. If you recall the show, everyone was very one dimensional, and they were interchangeable at any given moment. What made her stand out to me first and foremost was the fact that she was female. And there she was, fighting alongside all the boys. Her name also thrills me, Wonder Woman. It's just the coolest superhero name. I love that she stands on her own without being like the female counterpart of some pre existing male hero. And her costume is just everything. For as minimal as it is, it's bursting with color and life. As for her personality, she's been interpreted a lot of different ways over the past 75 years. But for me, whether she's, fighting for equality or taking on some criminal, she's just a genuinely caring person. And that's what makes her a great hero. I've always found myself drawn to women who have that I can do it mentality throughout all my life, and I attribute a lot of that to Wonder Woman. She's helped me easily understand that a woman can do anything that a man can do. But enough about that. Let's talk collecting. I've been a collector all my life. As a small child, I bought Wonder Woman comic books, and as a big child, I still buy them. By the end of the 1980s, I had quite a cool Madonna collection, which included magazines, posters, albums, singles. In 1989, my buddy introduced me to the TV show Charlie's Angels, and I collected that with serious passion for over a decade. That same year, I also briefly collected Lucille Ball memorabilia. She had just passed away that year, so it sparked interest. Again, all powerful women who broke down barriers in their own unique way. I sense a theme, don't you? It might have been 1999, but we're going to say 2000. I was at a collectible show with my buddy looking for Charlie's Angels stuff, and we came upon this toy stand. They didn't have anything we were looking for, but they did have an original 12-inch Mego Wonder Woman doll. It was the one with Linda Carter's picture on the box. I'm sure it was only a few seconds, but it felt like ages that I stared at it. I had the most amazing rush of memories of all those adventures that doll and I had together when I was a child. I bought it, and that started my adult Wonder Woman collecting. Since I was already an Angels collector, my goal with Wonder Woman was to simply recollect the things I had as a child. Seems easy enough, right? By 2003, my interest in Charlie's Angels collecting had slowed down. No offense if you enjoyed them, but I loathed those Drew Barrymore movies. Ugh. There just wasn't enough new things keeping me interested. So I sold off that collection, except for a few of my favorite posters, and turned my Wonder Woman mission, around in a fairly slow pace. Like I'd get on eBay whenever I thought of it. It was that kind of collecting. Cut to late 2011, 2012, and my Wonder Woman collecting had turned into a serious hobby. It grew and grew at lightning speed so badly that by January of 2016, which is this year, I couldn't even walk into my room. It was a 10 by 10 spare bedroom in our house. I had crap piled on the floor, and it was just a mess. Hence the reason we did this new room. I think I deviated from my mission just a tad. One of the things I tried to do now that I had a brand new space and to build in, I just decided to try and do themes. What you're looking at right now is obviously all vintage items, all of my favorite things from 1941 all the way up to the late 1980s. I still can't believe that 80s are considered vintage. I don't think I'm ever going to get used to that. It feels like they were yesterday. Check out these jeans and these pajamas. I love vintage Wonder Woman clothing. It's hard to come by, but it's just the coolest stuff ever. I love this Ben Cooper costume that you're looking at right now. I wore this for Halloween as a kid. Oh, the 70s. I love these hanging lamps. There's two different styles. There's one that's just Wonder Woman, and then there's one that's Wonder Woman and Superman. They'd be cool to hang up, but I'm scared to death of them falling and breaking. Can you imagine? There's a little carnival prize balloon on the corner. It's going to come up in a few seconds. I distinctly remember going to several local carnivals as a kid and having this thing. As far as I know, it's unlicensed, but it's fun regardless. Board games are awesome, but just stacking them one on top of the other makes them absolutely hideous. I tried to do this stacking method where you could kind of enjoy the cover. And there's the vintage Wonder Woman telephone, crazy foam, Underoos, and the Ideal Super Queen doll. I love this entire shelf so much. Behind the telephone is a cool sleeper blanket that I found. It's got Wonder Woman on one side and Diana Prince on the other side, which is weird to come by. She's just not on a lot of the merchandise, so it makes it extra special. This one definitely is hands down my favorite shelf in my whole collection. Just really great stuff. I decided to dedicate this whole aisle in this shelf to Mego. This is the Kresge figure that you're looking at here, and then the parade of 12-inch Mego dolls. I don't have the Linda Carter one right here with those. That's somewhere else in the room. There's the Sensation pin. That was the very first non-comic book collectible. And there's the other 8-inch Mego. It might look like I'm a hoarder of these 12-inch dolls, but I assure you, every one of these dolls is different. I'd go into it, but you'd go crazy listening to me tell you all the differences. Here's another one of my favorite toys from when I was a kid. It was the Mego Collapsing Tower playset. This came with a tower that you built. It had Wonder Woman. It had her invisible jet, which was probably the thing I loved the most about it. And it came with a plunger, and you could blow up the tower. There's three versions of this. There's the Denny's Fisher from the UK. There's the regular Mego version. And there's also a Canadian version. It was just a really, really cool toy. A lot of fun things on this shelf. I love these 3D flip flops. It features Wonder Woman fighting a shark. Her thermal underoos, for when it's cold outside. The utility belt is, oh God, I love that. There's a flashlight from Brazil, some plastic hangers, and a 3D pencil case, and the bop bag. Love, love, love this stuff. My love for this stuff is what keeps me collecting. It's not about being the best collector, having the most stuff. I get asked on Instagram all the time if I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records, which of course I'm not. For me, collecting is about having fun. And this is fun. This is a fun hobby. It brings me so much joy to see this stuff, especially things that I had as a kid and discovering things that I didn't even know existed. This little towel you're seeing here is a hand towel. I never even knew about that until a year or so ago. I just don't see how you can collect and not have fun. If you're in it just for numbers, find a new hobby. That's my opinion anyway. I always have a hard time displaying flat things, but I wanted to show you this 40s Valentine. You would pull on it and it would display Wonder Woman holding the Earth. It's such a cool item. On the back of this shelf are two Wonder Woman placemats. I remember giving my mom endless amounts of grief if I had dinner and she didn't have one of those placemats at my spot at the table. What you're seeing here is the second issue of Sensation Comics. That is my only copy of that entire comic book series. It was a very special book for me to get. It featured the very first appearance of Dr. Poison. She was Wonder Woman's first costumed villain. And she's actually one of my all-time favorite Wonder Woman villains. Second to the cheetah, of course. Nobody beats her. She's the cat's meow. Yes, that was corny, I know. This shelf is Halloween costumes, Valentine cards, and some random cards from the 70s. I found a really cool item on Instagram. Somebody was selling this Valentine's display. Has Wonder Woman and Superman on it. I love that social media can be used, especially something like Instagram, for more than just looking at pictures. There's some really cool bags of candy on this shelf. There's 4 of them in total. Hard to display something like that because you can't really stand it up. They're falling all over the place because it's just a loose bag of candy. Break your teeth on those, trust me. They're as hard as a rock. Love this bag. And this Justice League game, I cannot tell you. I think of all the auctions I've been in, this is the item I have lost the most number of times. It had to be over 10 times I lost that auction. Love old t-shirts. Even if they're iron-ons, they're really fun. And Shrinky Dinks are on the back wall of this shelf. I've never been an artistic kid, but for those of us that are like me and are not artistic, Shrinky Dinks were awesome because you just traced it, put it in the oven, and boom, you had something you could make a ring out of or a necklace or whatever you chose to make. This pillow is really fun. Love that. These pencil cases are really fun. I've never seen these anywhere else. And that brings us to the end of my first YouTube video. I hope you liked it. If you didn't like it, just know that I don't care. Stay tuned. I'm going to be posting some more videos soon.